Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This time it is my top 10 want list for 2020, as I'm sure a lot of you have or will be releasing your top 10 want list for 2020. Here's mine added to that pool. So, if you watch my channel, I don't always get every single book on my top 10 list. It's more of something to motivate me to get some books, but it's a real fun experience trying to get these books. And this upcoming year should be no exception for the books I have on it. So let's get started with number 10. What do I want? Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos #1, the first appearance of Nick Fury. This is one of those early Marvel Silver Age first appearances that I don't have. I mean, it's not I don't think it's one of the major ones, like when you talk about major ones like the X-Men, like Spiderman and others. But it's still a good one. I think it's a pretty cool book to have, and it's one I've been toying around with getting, and I think it's quite affordable. I mean, like, it's at a 4.0. I mean, it's expensive. It's several hundred dollars, but compared to other books like X-Men #1, like I mentioned, compared to Avengers #1, Journey into Mystery 83 at 4.0s, it is so affordable, and I would like to add it to my PC. So at number 9, what do I have? Fantastic Four #6. I mean, this is a great book. It's the first Marvel supervillain team up between Doctor Doom and the Submariner. And if you can't get the first appearances of some characters, try getting their second appearances. Second appearances, I think overall, whether it's in Marvel or DC, are very underrated. Very underrated. And Doctor Doom, it's his second appearance. If you can't afford his first appearance, which I can understand, even the very, very low grades, like I have a 2.0, okay? And I recently, I think about a few weeks ago, I checked what the 2.0s are going for on GPA, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But even the low grades are so expensive. That book jumped in value like tremendously from 2017 to 2018. I think in 2016, you can still get a 2.0, 3.0 copy for under $1,000. Now forget it. Forget it. But if that's too much for you, or you don't really want to spend that much, there's nothing wrong with getting his second appearance because it's still a very good book. At number 8. Fantastic Four, another Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four 66. Now, I have this book, okay? I think I have a 5.0, maybe 5.5. Well, I would like to get something a little higher. I wouldn't mind getting like a 7.5 or an 8.0. That's something that I think is reasonable, within range. It's the first appearance of him who becomes Adam Warlock. So, at number 7, what do we have? Iron Man 55, really? The first appearance of Thanos, the first appearance of the Blood Brothers, the first appearance of Drax, the first appearance of Star Fox, the first appearance of this one, the first appearance of that one. A lot going on in that book. So why do you want that one, Reap? Well, I understand that, because now that Thanos is no longer in the movies. And the movies are a big driving force, I think, for a lot of us when it comes to buying books. Oh, it's cool to have the first appearance of this character. I want to get this book so I could flip it, or whatever your reason is. I don't care. But I want to get this book again because I previously had it. I think after a press, it would have been a 7.0. I sold that copy 2 years ago to help fund my Incredible Hulk #1 book. But I've always wanted to get it back because I like Thanos. I like Drax the Destroyer. I've always liked those characters ever since I started collecting comics many, many years ago. Just never got around to getting those books because I didn't have enough money. But I got this book several years ago. It was in Comic Book Haul #2 back in 2014 when I first joined the community. So yeah, I would definitely like to bring Thanos and all the other characters, including Drax the Destroyer, back into my personal collection. So, moving on from number 7, we're at number 6 now. What's number 6? This is a book that's been, I think, was on my 2019 list, Amazing Spider-Man #2. And it's going to be on my 2020 list, and if I don't get it in 2020, it'll be on my 2021 list, because it's worth getting. It's definitely a great book to have. The first appearance of the Vulture and the Tinkerer. You know, I think it's also the first cover done by Steve Ditko in Spider-Man. But it's such a great book to have. The Vulture is part of the Sinister Six, one of Spider-Man's oldest, one of his oldest and earliest villains, okay, in this Rogues Gallery. So it's definitely worth getting, and that's going to be like I said, in 2019 that was on my list, but in 2020 I'm really going to be gunning for that one. I'm going to really try to make that happen. So that was what? Number 6? We're on number 5. If math serves me correctly. At number 5, what do we have? Another book that was on my 2019 list. I just never got around to getting Amazing Spider-Man 4. I mean, again, I like the Sandman. I think a lot of people like the Sandman. I love the cover. It's a great cover. That's a cover that captivated me for many, many years, even back when I first started collecting. And I wanted to improve my copy, so I'm looking to get, I don't know, maybe a 3.5. I mean, I know that doesn't sound like much of an improvement, okay? But it is to me. And it's definitely a book that is worth chasing and worth putting on my list again for 2020. So at number 4, what do we have? Amazing Spider-Man. There's a lot of Spideys on this one. Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1, the first appearance of the Sinister Six. I know that a lot of people are specking on the Sinister Six. I don't know if anything's going to come of that. Didn't they try that, with the Garfield movies, and it tanked? But who knows what's going to happen with the Sinister Six. But regardless, if anything happens with them or not, it is a classic issue. Definitely, you can't argue that the annual #1 is not a good book to have. It's definitely a great book to have, and I want to upgrade my copy. At number 3, Crypt of Terra 18. It is not an easy book to get at all, and I've been trying to get this book for a long time, and hopefully this year I'm going to make it happen. I mentioned previously that when I got my Tales from the Crypt 20, it was part of a complete EC collection. And I don't know if the guy sold the Crypt of Terra 18 by the time I got the Tales 20. I didn't ask, and that's one of my regrets. Let's move on to number 2. Journey into Mystery 85. That is another book I had that I sold to get my Incredible Hulk #1. And it is another book that has a lot going on in it. First appearance of Loki, first appearance of Asgard, first appearance of Heimdall, first cameo of Odin, first appearance of the Bifrost Bridge. It's a great book to have, okay? Whether Loki's dead, whether the series is one and done, it doesn't matter. It's still a great book to have, and it's the 3rd appearance of Thor, and one that I wanted to add in my collection. I had a CBCS 3.0. It was okay looking. I guess it was a 3.0. You know how CBCS, CGC, I don't want to fan the flame on that one. But I'd like to get at least a 3.0 CGC, or something a little bit better, maybe a 3.5. I'm not looking to get 5.0s. I don't need that. I don't need a 5.0 in my collection. And the #1 book that I'd like to get, I don't know if I'm actually going to get it, is Tales of Suspense 39. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get it in 2020. It may be a 2021 buy. We'll see, but it's definitely the big book for me this year. I think all the books other than Tales of Suspense 39 are pretty reachable. Some of them kind of be pricey, like the Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1, Amazing Spider-Man 2, they could be a little pricey. But I think a majority of them, if you could find them, like in Crypt of Terra 18, is fairly reasonable to get, fairly doable, I should say. The 39 may not be as doable. I wouldn't mind getting a 2.5 or a little better or whatever. See what it is. See how good it looks. The important thing is if you're going to get a low-grade book, which I'm perfectly okay with. I don't, have to pat myself on the back saying I got this grade or that grade. If the price is right and if the book looks good, it's worth having as far as I'm concerned. So that's it, everyone. That's the list for 2020. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get most of them or all of them, but we shall see. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing some of your lists. Please make them, and I'll catch you out there. Take care, everyone.